Savannah Chrisley candidly spoke about her future following her parents, Todd and Julie's, sentencing. On Monday, Todd, 53, was sentenced to 12 years in prison and 16 months probation, and Julie, 49, was sentenced to 7 years in prison and 16 months probation after they each were found guilty of conspiracy to commit bank fraud in June. In the latest episode of her Unlocked with Savannah Chrisley podcast, which was recorded in the days leading up to her parents' sentencing, the 25-year-old reality star broke down the reality that comes with spending the next several years without her parents. "It's just really hard to sit here 4 days before I go sit in the courtroom," she says. "I don't know what my fate is, what my family's fate is. I know that the short term is going to be really difficult and I may come home without both of my parents. That's what the chances are, that's the likelihood, and that's my new normal." Savannah reveals that there is a possibility that she could wind up with custody of her younger siblings, Grayson, 16, and Chloe, 10. Chloe is her biological niece, but was adopted by and was being raised in Todd and Julie's household. "I come home Tuesday and I have custody of a 16-year-old, I have custody of a 10-year-old, she tearfully says. "And we spend our first Thanksgiving not as a family." The Sassy by Savannah founder became more emotional as she discussed the harsh reality that her younger siblings will face, spending a big portion of their lives without their parents. "There's never been a time in my life when I haven't felt the safety of my parents," she explains. "There's never been a time in my life where I had to wonder, is Dad coming home tonight? Where is he? Why isn't he answering? Is Mom going to be there to take me to the doctor? Is she gonna celebrate the holidays? Is she gonna cook dinner? I never had to worry about where my parents were, if they were gonna show up." Savannah admitted that she feels guilt over Chloe and Grayson's situation. "I think that's the hard part. I think there's a level of guilt too for myself, knowing that Chloe and Grayson aren't going to have that same feeling, of, are Mom and Dad going to be home tonight?" she says through tears. "And I think that's the hardest part, is me trying to navigate how to teach two children who aren't fully developed yet, that. And how to navigate the circumstances. That's a really difficult thing." With her parents' conviction, Savannah said that the most challenging part is how different the holiday season will be this year. "You really never know when your last moment's going to be your last with someone," she says. "I look at the holidays and they're going to be really different this year. I mean, Thanksgiving, Christmas, it's going to be really, really challenging and really different and not what we're used to. But I know that it's not going to be this way forever." In the meantime, Savannah said she has to be strong. "I have to be a positive role model for Chloe and Grayson," she shares. "No matter how hard it gets, I have to show up." Earlier this month, Savannah spoke with ET about how her parents' legal troubles are impacting her. "This whole legal battle that's been spread across the news, I have had to deal with it from a child's perspective," she shared with ET. "I know their hearts and I know the things that they are and are not capable of, and it was just really, really difficult and to not be able to state our truth." Todd Chrisley sentenced to 12 years in prison for tax evasion. Wife Julie sentenced to 7 years. This video is unavailable because we were unable to load a message from our sponsors. If you are using ad blocking software, please disable it and reload the page.